You do have some plays that you like, and I always say life is too short to bet unders because you're just waiting for the passage of time. You've got some overplays that I'm intrigued by, and one for the Northsiders in Chicago I think they're going to be happy with. Why do you think the over might be in play for the Cubs this year?
Got some overs and some unders for win totals, so don't worry, it's not just all overs here coming up. But look, when you look at the Chicago Cubs, I mean, I was on their over season win total last year. I also took them 11-1 to win the division. Neither one of those cashed. They got off to a really bad start last year. They played a terrible first half. They were a really good team in the second half. And what they've done this season is they've taken the guys in the lineup that were productive, like Nico Horner, like Ian Happ, Patrick Wisdom, Seiya Suzuki, who's currently on the injured list with an oblique, but he'll be back soon. They've taken the guys that were good and surrounded them with actual major league talent in the other spots in the lineup. They got Dansby Swanson from the Braves in free agency, Trey Mancini, prove-it deal for Cody Bellinger. We'll see if he can bounce back. But they took the best parts of their team and then signed guys with major league track records to kind of help them out a little bit. The rotation is significantly better because they got Jameson Taillon from the Yankees in free agency. Hayden Wisniewski's going to make the rotation. He looks really, really solid for them. They added some guys in the bullpen. Also, I think this division just isn't very good.
Yeah.
I mean, the Reds have a season win total in the mid-60s. The Pirates are upper 60s. I think the Brewers fall back a little bit. Cardinals will be really good. They always are. But I think the Cubs are the team that can kind of take advantage of the overall weakness of this division. And one other thing I want to mention really quickly here is that when you say a player is average, that sounds like a negative, right? That guy's just an average player. In Major League Baseball, there are a lot of players that are below average. A lot of them, especially offensively. So if you can replace below average guys with average guys or guys that are a little bit above average, that's a huge upgrade, and that's what the Cubs have done here. So I like over 77.5 for them.
I want to stay in the same division because, again, normally you're not going to play two overs in the same division because you've identified what we think is the third betting favorite at plus 650 to win this division. That's the Cubs. But you also do think the Redlegs might be a little bit better than people think.
Yeah, I think the Reds will be better. I mean, their player development on the pitching side has been really, really good. Their big three with Hunter Green, Nick Lodolo, and Graham Ashcraft, from a pure stuff standpoint, these guys are outstanding. The command has to come around specifically for Ashcraft, and Hunter Green's got to stay healthy, which is a concern. He's in his early 20s and throws 100 miles per hour. But these guys all throw hard. They all have really good stuff. And the Reds last year, they went 62 and 100, right? So they fell short of this 65.5 number. They started last year 3-22 in their first 25 games.
Awful.
And they still barely lost 100 games. So they were a lot better after that with a lot of injuries. Joey Votto got hurt. Jonathan India got hurt. They had a lot of guys in and out. I think this team actually has some talent and some upside. I will say I didn't play this one yet, but it's on my short list, and I think I'm going to ultimately play it before the season starts.
All right, Great American Small Park there in Cincinnati.
Yes.
Very quickly, got about 90 seconds to go. Let's go to the American League for one other over total that you like. And this felt like a team that in the second half really showed maybe what they're capable of. You like Seattle again this year?
I like Seattle a lot. I think this lineup is great. I think this starting rotation is awesome. Their bullpen is very deep and very, very strong. The addition of Luis Castillo last year at the trade deadline, and then they ultimately signed him to a long-term extension. He's the ace that they needed, but Logan Gilbert's developing really, really well. George Kirby was about as unhittable as anybody in the second half last year. He looks great in the spring, too. I love this Mariners team. Up and down the lineup is deep. The pitching staff is deep. They can withstand injuries. They've got a superstar in Julio Rodriguez. I don't know how the Rangers do. I don't know how the Angels do. I know they're a little bit better, but the Mariners are a team. I love their overseason win total 87.5. Don't know if I can get there with the division just yet at plus 320 or so, but I think this team is outstanding. I expect them to win 90-plus games.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.